Hey folks, this is Matt once again. Number one, I know it's pretty dark, but you know what? It's actually fitting because of my mood. Not because of the request, like the person who sent it. Movie Guy 2005, thank you so much. Same with anyone who sends in requests. Thank you so much. You guys are kind, you guys are generous. I appreciate it. If anyone wants to request any type of video, movie review, a re-review, a commentary, a tier list, a ranking, a video game playthrough, whatever the case, movie or random thing may be, feel free and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. For those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. This is for, as you could tell, Howling 7, New Moon Rising. Which I have said before, and I will say again, it is one of the worst fucking films I have ever seen in my life. Watch it again. For the commentary, I maintain it is still one of the worst films I have ever seen. In fact, I've put it like number 12 or so on my list. And I don't know where to start other than to blame Clive Turner, who wrote, directed, starred, shat, pissed, wiped his fucking ass with whatever script there was. So there was only like a flimsy page the size of this fucking thing here that holds my cloth for my glasses. That's how much of a strip we had left working here, because that's all we had. Because Clive Turner, he worked in some background capacity for like Howling 3. I guess someone liked him, or he lit the right butthole, or wherever the case was be. The bee's knees. He got to write the script for Howling 4. Now, I don't know if this is true, but according to rumor and innuendo, in Howling 4, the director, John Howe, or how you say his name, apparently the writer, Clive Turner, had fights with the director, and eventually the writer redid the film. Now, again, I don't know if that's true, but that's the rumor out there. Howling 4 sucked. Listen, the only Howling film I liked is the second film. Why? There's a lot of reasons why the first film I don't like, although I do enjoy the Rob Bottin effects and some of the music, but I have a lot of issues with the film. Howling 2 is stupid and goofy, but it is fun to me. Christopher Lee hunting werewolves, Red Brown screaming his balls off, shooting werewolves in the face with shotguns, Sybil Danny's tits, and rock and roll. That's my kind of movie. Much more my kind of movie. But 3 with the marsupials and what the hell? That's one of those what the fuck's going on movies. Howling 4 is like a much more boring version of the first film, because they're like, well, we want to make it more like the book. So it's kind of a similar plot, but it's also much more boring. And the only modicum of decency is Steve Johnson doing effects, but you barely see them except a guy melting and a little bit of werewolf at the end. But that's a film where nothing much happens until the end, and even then it wasn't worth the wait. And there's only a teeny amount of werewolf, which hell, that's still more than this fucking movie. 5 was a boring people in a castle get knocked off one by one, and the mystery is supposed to be who is the werewolf. And I can't remember now. There's a movie back to the day remind me of, damn it. But trying to be like 10 Little Indians, and then there were none, kind of a murder mystery in a castle. Whatever. Howling 6, there's a carnival, and there's a vampire, and didn't give a shit. Characters were boring. There's a movie after this called Reborn. It tried to be like Twilight. Teeny bopper. It was horseshit. It's a franchise that did not need 8 movies. But this, to me, was the worst. So Clive Turner, again, licking the right butt crack. Somehow, how he got this power to do this shit, I don't know. He wrote part 4, he wrote part 5, and then there was another director on this film, and Clive Turner was just going to be the writer, but then they argued and stuff about how the werewolf should look, among other things, Eventually, the director said fuck it and quit, which was the right decision on his part. Clive Turner took over as writer, star, director, and also, from what I understand, the original director wanted to make a werewolf movie in a small town. What Clive Turner wanted was a character-driven movie about Pioneer Town, because he loved the town for some reason. He loved the citizens for some reason. So he wanted to make a whole film about these weird, crazy, quirky people who, in my opinion, are boring as shit. If I was in this town, I want to run away with my balls attached to a gator's mouth so it could drag me along. I'd rather finger pop my asshole that has a shitload of diarrhea and pop it in my mouth and think it's a Tootsie Pop than be around these fucking people. Because what am I going to be around? A dusty ass town with one bar where everybody can ask for shit. Nobody is natural. It's about as natural as a $3 bill. There's a lot of dancing. I don't fucking like dancing. There's a lot of line dancing. I definitely don't like line dancing. Unless you want to line yourselves in a firing squad. I don't like fucking... I don't drink, but there's a lot of drinking involved. Maybe that's why they made the film. They were all drunk. There's a lot of singing, and I don't fucking like country music. There are exceptions, sure. There are exceptions, but mostly country music is not my thing. Especially not this country music. There's a song called Stand Up and Testify that apparently was some one-hit wonder back in the day. Must not have been a hell of a one-hit wonder because I never heard the fucking song. There's a reason why no one's heard of the damn song. Because the one-hit wonder must have been a long-ass time ago, but no one remembers that shit and no one cares. So, yeah, I'll stand up and testify in court, just if I watch this film again, I'm going to go on a fucking rampage, but I'll get off like P. Diddy, okay? Puff Daddy. Did he or didn't do it? No, I didn't do it, and neither did he. Supposedly. That's what the law says, I guess. Yeah, he didn't do it, guys, just like O.J. Simpson didn't do it. Wink, wink. Puff Daddy will write a fucking novel called Baby Oil. Diddy or Denny, the baby oil years. But I'll get off like P. Diddy did. Because they'll watch this fucking film and go, we did it. We did why he did it. He went on rampages. He saw this movie. So Clive Turner loved the town. He loved the people. He wanted to make like a character drama with almost no werewolves. And instead, it's scenes that just wander around aimlessly, nothing happening. But to try to tell you the plot before I go on, a group of people find a dead body. I guess the dead body, they think, as this priest and this cop are on the case, that it's a girl named Mary Lou, who is the werewolf at the end of Howling 5. Apparently, she was in town nearby because there was a carnival, Howling 6, and somehow she died there. You find out later it wasn't her, but that's later. Meanwhile, a guy named Ted, played by our shitty director, shitty actor, and shitty writer, Clive Turner, comes in, and he has an agenda. He gets a job at the bar. He talks on his little tape recorder. And most of the film is him getting drunk at the bar, talking to the townsfolk. The townsfolk plays themselves, and you can tell because they cannot act for squat. And it's just either the guy telling jokes about pneumonia. Well, better not have that smallpox. Like smallpox, but he said smallpox, guys. You get it? Well, better than having diphtheria. You know what? There's a lot of things I could say. I just say, how about you take a fucking monkey from Outbreak and you suck it off, and then you go into a jungle and you never come back. How about you do that? How about you find quicksand and you make love in it? And then when I turn around, you disappear. I'll be thank you. Never come again. How about you go in a plane and do a 9/11 impression? It's a joke, folks. Jokes. It's as shitty as jokes as the shitty jokes in this movie. So I'm making it fit with shitty joke and shitty joke. God damn it, man. This is what this movie does to me. Is make me act fucking stupid and act a fool. Make the stupid fucking jokes. This movie gave me AIDS. It caused 9/11. It did all the bad things in the world. Would not be fucking surprised. Maybe that's why 9/11 happened. They saw this fucking movie, and then Osama bin Laden said, we can't have this anymore. They can't make any more movies like this. And only there it just took them, years to finally see this fucking film, because this film doesn't have a DVD, thank God. It's only on VHS and Laserdisc. Might be a laser dick that they suck on. But it was featured on Joe Bob Briggs' Monster Vision. I love Monster Vision. I like Joe Bob Briggs. For some reason it was popular on there. It was shown a couple times. And he got a lot of letters from people in Pioneer Town. He even went over there and asked them questions. And apparently Clive Turner went back to Australia. The people talked about the making of the film. And at one point Joe Bob Briggs said, hey, I guess he said New Line Cinema owned it or something. How about you make like a DVD and I'll do a commentary? And they're like, no. Like 35 millimeter, we'd have to re-edit the whole thing. I'm like, it's not worth the trouble. It's not worth being on a disc. It's not worth being on the planet. It's not worth VHS. It's not worth existing. Because it's such a dull, boring as fuck film with people who can't act and nothing happening. They're by the urinals and they're joking about how small the urinals are. Pappy got dirt in his chili, and people keep reminding him, hey Pappy, you know you got dirt in your chili? Yes, I know I got dirt in my chili. One guy eats some beans, goes over somewhere, you hear farting, and people walk out, oh my god, and the guy's still eating his beans from the chili. This guy Clive Turner has a romance with a girl, and a lot of line dancing, and then a lot of the line dancing looks like a cult. They're in the fucking dark like I was. In the fucking dark. That looks like a fucking warehouse. In the dark. And they don't look happy. They look like they're part of the Third Reich. Is this like how the Nazis don't come back? Hidden by rednecks? Like these? They look unhappy. They look like they're ready to go into a gas fucking chamber. Like they're ready to be executed. And this is supposed to be fun? This line dancing in the dark? It's like any minute now, going to the next scene, it's going to be Eyes Wide Shut. Weird sex cult. Which, hell, that would have made this film more interesting if it was that. So dancing, singing, more dancing, more jokes about urinals or Pappy's chili or people farting, or doing jobs, or cleaning floors, and they start dancing like a siesta. Or stupid jokes about, I can't remember what the hell it was. Oh, they say I was into bestiality and necrophilia, and I guess I'm butting or fucking a horse or plugging a horse. I think he said plugging a horse. Hope it wasn't Mr. Ed. You don't deserve it. And once in a blue moon, you'll see this shitty, fuzzy red filter doing a POV as if it's Evil Dead. It's not even Evil Dead fuck. And someone dies, but you don't see anything. And it's so fuzzy, sometimes you can't understand who the hell and what the hell is happening. And then it'll go back to this cop and this priest, and they just talked incessantly in exposition because Clive Turner thought he was this mastermind that is going to put Howling 4, 5, and 6 together. Because I guess the original idea for the film was we're going to have just the footage from Howling 4, 5, and 6. Howling 4, 5, and 6, we're going to use the footage, and then we'll just film little bits here and there, and we'll make another movie. Like Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, that was the idea that was going to be, but then they shot a lot more original footage than they did. And at least you had Eric Freeman, who's funny, bad, but very funny in that movie. That's a movie that's entertaining. He kills a guy with an umbrella. I mean, that's pretty... Garbage Day. That one line alone, as overused as it is right now, is still more fucking entertaining than anything in this goddamn movie. I shit you not. I swear to God on a stack of Bibles. Unless you love dancing, you love country music, you love line dancing, or you love people saying stupid jokes about nothing. And it just goes on. So yeah, it was just going to be the footage of 4, 5, and 6. Then Clive Turner, then again, the director and Clive Turner fought, and then the director left, and he took over. And he's like, I want to be this character-driven because I love this town. I love these... Why? Why do you love these people? Did they game bang you for Fruity Pebbles? You like to supply Fruity Pebbles? Did you game bang every Friday? I don't know what the fuck. This is what happens when it's 7 in the morning. I haven't slept left. I just say the stupidest shit, but maybe that worked for the better for the review. The music is this terrible country music twang that at times sounds like the fucking music's having a goddamn cardiac arrest. Like, or having a stroke. Like a guitar harmonica having like a stroke. I mean, they fucking die already. Movie. Fucking die already. And never come back. I hate this fucking film. And then. No and then. Therefore. The priest and the cop, when they talk, they try to link it up. Where the priest talks about 500 years ago and this thing that happened in this castle, and then whatever led up to Howling 5, and then this girl Mary Lou. They don't use a lot from Howling 6. It's mostly 5 and 4, a little bit of 4. Because they talk to the girl who is the lead in 4. And I think it's the same actress that came back. So they show footage, which is funny. The most werewolf and the best effects you see is from a fucking flashback. That's another movie. Because that's how you do that. So what happens is, she tells about this stuff, about her werewolf encounter, and somehow she's also linked to this. I'm like, it just gets convoluted, needlessly confused, because that's what you want. You want to see a Howling movie, let alone a Howling 7, that has little to no werewolves, little to no blood, little to no, again, unless that flashback, but little to no werewolves, little to no blood, little to no anything. Because that's what people wanted. It just makes me go, like, this director got away with a lot. Why was he given so much carte blanche? Why was he given a clean slate to just do whatever the fuck he wanted with this? Supposedly reshooting half the film in 3 days. I'm like, well, considering so little happens, I guess it's possible. Just nothing fucking happened. Just... God damn it. Hate this fucking film. So after they talk to her and they leave, and just more and more boring as fuck exposition between these two, who also can't act for shit. And then eventually Mary Lou, when I first saw this, I don't think I understood what was going on, because you see the filter and it's so fuzzy. It's like we're at a house and then we're at a girl, we're seeing a girl. I didn't know who the fuck it was. And then she goes, Mary Lou? You hear a scream. Then later, the cop says, "Oh, this girl was thrown out the window," and that's the girl from Howling 4. So, for you one or two fans who loved Howling 4, they kill the lead. And an off-screen death, and all she did in this film is sit at a table and talk about what happened in Howling 4. I'm like, you didn't even need this in the movie. It has a low body count. There's this redneck that Clive Turner's character got money from because he did this stupid thing where I bet I could drink the beer without taking off the hat, and then he goes down and he drinks like a beer under the table, and he says, "Yes, I did. Yes, I did." "No, you didn't." So the guy picks up the hat. So then he takes it. "I drank it and I didn't touch the hat. So technically, I didn't touch the hat. You did, and I drank the beer, so I get your money." The guy gets pissed, tries to beat him up later, and the red filter of fuzzy death kills him. You can't see shit, but why do we need to see anything, guys? We don't need to see werewolves in a werewolf film. We don't need to see kills. We don't need to have fun. We don't need entertainment. We need Pappy's chili getting dirt. We need fart jokes. We need jokes about urinals, and we need dancing. Line dancing and singing country music and stand up and testify. Stand up and testify. Yeah, I'm going to stand up in court and give my middle finger to you and say, "Fuck you, Clive Turner, and suck my balls. Please, I will present them to you. I won't even wash them for you because you probably liked it, you dirty slut. Fuck you, Clive Turner, and fuck this movie and this fucking ass. I don't care about being nice. They weren't nice about my fucking time seeing this stupid shit. Because if this movie didn't exist, I'm fine with the paid request. If people want to request me anything, feel free. Send in the paid request. I don't blame you. I blame the people who made these fucking films to begin with to exist. Too many shitty movies exist. These movies need to be wiped out. I fucking hate these movies. They should be wiped out of existence. But anyway. Too many shitty movies in the world. It's too many. It's too many. It's too many. So, after a whole lot of nothing happens, some of the women think that Ted is a killer. There's this one bit where they find a body, and they go, "Should we call the cops?" "Nah." "You think it was mountain lion?" "Maybe." "Oh, we can't tell Pappy. He had a heart attack once, and it'd be bad if he had a heart attack again. You know, this may be the smartest thing or the dumbest thing I've ever done. Go bury him." I'm going to pick the dumber, because it's written by a dumbass. Yeah, you don't need it. If you see it, I gotta remember that. I gotta remember, if I ever see a dead body out here, I'll just bury it. Based on Howling 7 rules. You just bury dead bodies and not talk to anybody, not call a cop or anything. So eventually they suspect Ted. One cop is called. He takes Ted, puts him literally in a fucking warehouse somewhere with a big open space. Eventually the cop gets killed. You don't see it. Of course you don't. The cop, the other cop, the old detective, I should say, that's been with the priest. They arrive. They think Ted's the werewolf. But then the detective goes, "No, actually, I don't think he is." The priest says, "You're wrong," but the priest is the one who's wrong. Eventually, this one girl named Cheryl, she gets with Ted. She admits she's the werewolf. She's Mary Lou. This is another thing. This movie loves to make up. I know werewolves don't exist. Since they don't exist, you could technically make any rules up you want. "You can't do that, it's not in the rules." Well, I mean, it's a mythical creature. To be honest, you could do anything because they're mythical. If you want a vampire that I guess turns to a fucking chicken. Thanks, chicken, for that. For your fucking contribution. So if he just turned into a fucking chicken, I guess, oh well, because there are no rules for drug. shut the fuck up. Because there are no rules, because, vampires don't exist. So technically you can make up any rules you want. But this one really wanted to just make shit up and, like, push out. Is that okay? Even in connection with the other Howling films, it doesn't seem like this fits, but, well, it takes 3 years for a werewolf to mature, and when a werewolf can mature, it can, like, turn people into other werewolves, but then it can also look like other people, and do all this other shit, and I don't know, turn to a fucking bus, and not go over 55 miles per hour. What the fuck else they could do? And so Mary Lou killed this girl named Cheryl, and that was the body at the beginning of the movie. And she's going to frame Ted, Clive Turner. I'm like, good, frame him so he could be in jail. So he deserves it for making this movie. And she tries to shoot, but it's blanks because the detective believed in Ted and they set her up. Then you have the most, I will say, the worst morphine effect in the history of fucking films, where she turns and, like, she changes the morphine effect, and that she looks like if a fucking werewolf was a grandma with Down syndrome. That's what the fuck this werewolf looks like after the horrible cookie cutter cut and paste morphine effect. And then you see, like, an up close dollar store, dime store mask of a werewolf. You see it bust through a door in slow-mo, again with, like, a dollar store costume. The posse of the town's outside, and you hear the gunshots. So you don't see the werewolf get killed, you don't see blood squibs, you don't see anything. The werewolf of this film is in it for 10 seconds. 10 fucking seconds. Because you don't need a werewolf in your werewolf film. That's stupid of you, buddies. Listen, werewolf films, let's be honest, there's more bad than good. 9 out of 10 times a werewolf film will suck. Which is weird because I do think they can work, but they do such a shitty job. Because werewolves, to make them look decent, you need either charm or you need money. And sadly, some did it and they still fucked up, like that one where Frank Grillo. That should have been good and they fucked that up. But my favorite werewolf films, Dog Soldiers is number 1. Silver Bullet is in there. I like Bad Moon. I like this one called Late Phases. I like Howling 2 for how goofy and fun it is. I don't mind American Werewolf in London. I don't love it, but I don't mind it. And one that doesn't get talked about enough, Full Eclipse. Marvin Peebles is a cop. There's a special unit of cops that go do their own special missions. But you find out this group of cops are also werewolves. Patsy Kensit from Lethal Weapon 2 is in there. Bruce Payne from Passenger 57 is in there. Full Eclipse deserves a better release. Rest in peace to director Anthony Hickox, who did Waxwork, Waxwork 2, and Hellraiser 3. Rest in peace to him. I didn't mind him as a director. But Full Eclipse, so much of a better werewolf film than this. But it'd be hard to pick a top 10 best werewolf films. That's how little there are. I don't even like the first Howling. It's better than this, but there's a few reasons why I don't like the original Howling, but won't get into that. But it's God compared to this. But this is the worst werewolf film I've seen. Nightwolf is another bad one I saw. Not the Mortal Kombat character, but Nightwolf. Project Metal Beast was a disappointing one. The one with Frank Grillo, that was a bad one. There's one... I forget what the hell they're called, man. There's a reason why. I forget what the hell they're called. But this is the worst. It's the most dull. It's the most boring. It's the most pointless. And it just... ends with fucking more dancing and more singing and dancing. Because apparently that's what we wanted in a Howling film. Singing, dancing, country dancing, line dancing in the dark while you're a fucking cult. Pappy's chili, farting, jokes at urinals, jokes about bestiality and fucking horses or plugging horses, whatever. And whatever the hell else. There's like a scene where one guy sits down and imagine he's got like a shot glass and a bottle. I don't have a shot glass. But he'll do the shot glass, then he'll drink the bottle. Then a second guy sits to him, next to him. He does the same thing. He takes the shot glass and then the bottle. Then a third guy sits next to those two. Drinks the shot glass, drinks a bottle. I guess this is what the director thought was funny. I would say, is this how Australian state comedy is? But I take that back because I love Crocodile Dundee with Paul Hogan. I love Crocodile Dundee. I like the second one. I even don't mind the third one. It is flawed. It's not nearly as good as the first two. But I could watch Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles. I don't mind for what it is. I think it's harmless. It is more... It went in theaters, but it felt more like a direct-to-video sequel. But I could watch it and have fun. Because I like the character. I like Paul Hogan. That was the last time you saw him and Linda Kozlowski, because sadly, years after, they divorced. I know there's a Blu-ray that has features, but part of me is like, it also has that stupid edited cut. I don't want to get into that shit, but I'm like, oh, but there's features, there's like a documentary. I like to know how long it is, and that's what she said. Let me show you. No, but this is an insult to Australians because a fucking guy from Australia directed it, so I'm sure Australians be like, he ain't ours. I'm like, well, he went to Australia. He went back to Australia, I heard, so you guys are keeping him. This is... There's not a good thing I can say about this film. It's just very slow, overly exposition filled, convoluted in the story. Because Howling 4, 5, and 6 were individual films that never had any intention of connecting. Never any intention. So the idea that you're trying to connect all three of them is a foolhardy intention. And no one gave a fuck. No one was crying out, I need Howling 4, 5, and 6 to connect and make sense, buddy. Not a single person cared for that. What is it with people trying to give stuff that people don't want? People don't want a werewolf film with no werewolf or this amount of werewolf in it. They don't want a werewolf film which is a shitload of shitty songs, shitty dancing, shitty acting, and shitty just sitting there with a thumb up your ass in a bar because, I don't know, they jerked your chain well enough with enough baby oil that'll make even P. Diddy blush. I don't fucking know. Pioneer Town, Buttplug Town, wherever the hell it was. And if someone watches from Pioneer Town, I don't care. I think the film sucks. It's dog shit. I don't know what else to say. There's nothing. The music, nothing good. It's deathly dull and boring and unfunny and just horrendously acted. Ain't worth a cup of dog piss. Ain't worth a pot to piss in. As a man would say, it's the drizzling shits. Nothing redeeming about this movie. But I hope Movie Guide 2005 liked the commentary in this, so I would have to assume this is the last time I would ever watch the film, unless somehow, I don't even want to say it. I don't want to say it. Don't even want to say it. So I'll keep my trap shut. But thank you. Again, if anyone wants to request anything, paper request, PayPal, CashApp, links down below. We'll get to it as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Ciao for now. Fuck this movie. Just stick it in their ass.